let's talk about certain patterns, especially between two people. When I say between two people, it can be in any form of relationships. But let's talk about the most common one in the partnership, be it a married, unmarried couple, or whatever you may want to call it, as a companion or anything. There are people who, of course, show everything is well, but nothing is actually going well under the surface. And they keep on saying it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, and they stay together, of course, for the society, the status, the kid, and all those stuffs are there. The question here is to ask is how long they are going to stay like this, okay? And even if they have tried to mend, do the patchwork in the relationship, then what are the things that actually caused the fallout? The second thing is, have you seen people who talk about relationships, who actually, when I say relationships, it is like when people talk or say that they know the best about relationship. Of course, I'm not an expert in this field, but what I can talk about is the pattern and the human behaviors. And not a single person on the planet is devoid of patterns, right? So when they think and they talk about they are expert in relationships about other people, which is great. But the fact is, most of the times, not all, things are not going well in their personal space. And that is something they are not able to manage or handle. Why do you think that is the case? First, there are many factors, okay? But these are some of the most, undeniable, uncommon factors that people do not notice. The first thing is when people feel suffocated or choked in a relationship and they do not talk about it to the other partner. So the other partner is not aware about what the other person is feeling, and choking in the sense of the person is not feeling free in the relationship. There is no freedom. It is like the other person has chained the person just because they are in a relationship. That is something which definitely leads to a fallout. Second thing is that the unnecessary and the false, fake, I would say, conditioning that has been fed due to media, due to entertainment, due to some of the fairy tale stories, etc., that there is something called as true love, or there is something called as, the sparks. You will get butterflies in your stomach, you will, violence will play and all those stuffs. Now the thing is, just imagine, let's say when you feel that adrenaline rush, okay, how long do you feel it? For how many days or for how much time? It fades away, right? So that chemistry factor, that chemical factor stays, but not for always. Then what is it that can make the chemistry come over and over again if you want it? It is the compatibility factor, and it is the most important factor, that is understanding between the two people and working on it. And this is what people fail to understand. People always feel that there has to be a chemistry between two. Not needed. There needs to be compatibility. And to have that compatibility, respect, mutual trust, freedom, all these are so much essential. Of course, communication as well. Now, which leads to another most important factor, that is, if you are having that kind of a problem in relationship and you want, to get that perfect person in your life, someone whom you feel like, this is it, this is the person, I feel amazing, I feel, really touched, etc., and this and that. The question is it real, or is it something like you are having a false belief in your head? Because the thing is, if you want somebody of that level, the question is, have you worked on yourself to get to that level and then attract that right kind of person? Because too often what happens is, okay, not always, handful of people you will see having amazing relationships is because they are psychologically, or they are spiritually, or they are in understanding wise, they are like this. It does not matter whether financially or age wise they are up or down, but they are on the same level. They are like a team. Now the thing is, when I'm saying you need to work on yourself, that means, let's say you are somebody who is working on your inner growth, asking the right questions to yourself. You're challenging yourself and you are actually asking the difficult questions. You are not running away from yourself. That's when you get to see the answers. And when you do that, the person, you, automatically grows to become a different person altogether. But what happens is, let's say you have not reached till that level. You are somewhere here and your partner is way too above or way too below in that level. So you start having doubts. You start feeling that, is this for me? You have conflicts in your mind. The question is not about whether the relationship is for you. The question is about, have you worked on yourself enough to understand the intricacies of the relationship? Okay? Think of it like a absolute silken smooth cloth which is made of such fine threads. If one thread is pulled out and you do not know, you do not have the expertise to keep the threads intact, to take care of the cloth, then of course the entire thing would be destroyed. So now the factor comes into picture that when you are thinking all these things, sometimes what happens is, some people, they are too scared to face their own demons. I repeat, they are too scared to face their own demons. And the fear that they accumulate over such a long period of time because they've never spoken to anybody, they have not worked on it themselves within. I'm not talking externally, whatever you do, it does not matter. Within yourself. So what happens is the person gets repelled by success, by love, by relationships that the person always wanted, but when the person comes in the life, they are repelled by it, is because it is not them. It is a fear that's working against themselves. And what happens is they start running away. They are not running away from the person, they are not running away from the relationship, they are running from themselves. And if you are such person, if the moment you understand this, the moment you realize this, one of the biggest factor you need to ask yourself. See, questions are everything. The kind of question you ask will give you the kind of answers and the kind of life that you are living. So you need to ask yourself, maybe something else is really important in your life. Maybe environment, you are working for environment. That is your mission, vision. Maybe you are working towards welfare of animals. Maybe you are transforming human lives. Whatever it is, anything could be your mission, vision. That does not matter. What matters is when you are old and let's say, by the grace of God, you are living many years. Think of it. Every time your physical energy and vitality will not be there. So when you are having tons of bank balance and everything is settled in your life, but you do not have that person, that space is empty, then how is it that you are going to feel? Or what is it that you really want for that moment? Because what you want to have that time, you need to be very clear about yourself. Who is it that you want to spend the time with? Do you want just chemistry in that manner? Or do you want a strong, healthy, and undoubtedly beautiful bond? Bond of friendship, bond of partnership, bond of companionship. You want somebody like that beside you when you are actually in your maybe whatever age you are retired and you want to spend that time. The question is, have you thought about it? If you have thought about it, then are you going by the glitters and glamsy of, okay, who is the person where I'm having a spark or chemistry or anything? That fades away. Even if you try so hard, that fades away. The only way to keep it alive is when both the people are working on it and they are willing to work on it. But if you're not willing to work on it, the spark, who is going to ignite the fire, right? How will the spark come? So the question for you to ask is, what is it that you really want in a relationship? Is it just some kind of a conditioning? Is it just kind of a fairy tale? Are you looking for a perfect solution or a perfect human being or your soul mate or something like that? Then you are in for, I would say, a fairy tale to yourself, right? Because only when you understand and see life as it is, you understand that everything you need to work upon and everything needs your time, energy, effort, and most importantly, willingness. So hope this helps, and if you're having problem in the relationships, please go ahead, solve it. Find out the patterns. That is very important. Find out the patterns within yourself and the patterns between you two. And if you're unable to find the patterns, then look for the trigger points, because the trigger points are important. Is it like sometimes what happens is some people from external world, okay, externally some people come and give you a breath of fresh air which feels really good at the moment, and if you feel like, am I in a boring relationship? Oh, this person seems so exciting. Let me just check out this person. Go ahead, do it. But the thing is it just because you are feeling boring, or is it just because of that spark that ignited you for a moment? Is it that what will make you feel absolutely fulfilled and most importantly at peace within yourself? Is it something that will make you feel loved, which you always crave for? So when you look for the patterns, you get the answers. When you look for the trigger points, you get the solutions. You understand what is creating the problem within yourself, the conflicts and the problems in your relationship. So hope this helps, and if you have any doubt or query, do mail me on the mail given below, and yeah, see you soon in the next video.